All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today we're looking at the Brahmanda Purana.
Oh.
It's a pretty massive work.
Yeah.
It's essentially, it's named the cosmic egg. So right there in the title, you're dealing with something pretty fundamental.
Yeah, origin of everything.
Yeah.
And it's one of the 18 major Puranas.
Oh, wow.
And to give you a sense of the sheer size,
Yeah.
it contains over 12,000 verses.
Oh, wow. So this is going to be a pretty in-depth deep dive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try to condense thousands of verses into something a little bit more manageable for our listeners.
Right.
So let's start with that intriguing title, Brahmanda.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean?
So Brahmanda literally means cosmic egg.
Okay.
It's a combination of Brahma, who in the Hindu tradition is the deity associated with creation,
Okay.
and Andanda, which simply means egg.
Ah.
So the name itself, paints this picture of the universe as a kind of egg-shaped entity
Right.
that emerged from a more fundamental or primordial state.
So it's not just a creation story, though, is it?
No.
It's almost like an encyclopedia of ancient wisdom.
Yeah, it really is.
So what kind of subjects does it cover beyond, this sort of origin story?
Well, while the cosmology and the story of creation are certainly central,
Yeah.
the Brahmanda Purana really casts a much wider net.
Okay.
It explores various systems of yoga,
Oh, wow.
principles of dharma, which is righteous living and conduct,
Okay.
detailed geographical accounts
Mm.
of the ancient world as they understood it,
Huh.
and even quite esoteric spiritual teachings.
Wow. So it's very comprehensive.
It is.
Okay.
A particularly important part of it is the Adhyatma Ramayana.
Like, we're going to get to that later.
Yeah.
So if we can kind of grasp the scope of the Brahmanda Purana,
Yeah.
it seems like we can unlock a really, fundamental understanding of a lot of Hindu philosophical thought.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Many core Hindu concepts and narratives either originate
Mhm.
or are significantly developed within the Brahmanda Purana.
Oh, wow.
So understanding its kind of basic framework provides a really valuable context for exploring
Okay.
other related texts and traditions.
So it's almost like the foundation
It's a foundational piece.
for a lot of these other texts and ideas.
Yeah, in a much larger puzzle.
All right, so we have this massive cosmic egg.
Yeah.
How does the Brahmanda Purana actually describe the process of the universe
Yeah.
coming into being?
Okay, so according to the Purana, everything begins from a state of primordial emptiness,
Okay,
like a true void,
right.
a state of non-existence.
Nothingness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From this nothingness arises the Brahmanda,
Okay,
this radiant golden cosmic egg.
okay.
And the text describes how this egg then split open,
Mm-hmm.
and from this division came all the different layers of our cosmos,
Okay.
the heavens, the earth, and the various nether realms.
So everything came from this egg.
Everything came from this egg.
That's a powerful mental image.
It is.
And it's not a one-time event, is it?
No, it is not.
The Purana talks about time in a very different way than we often think about it.
Right.
Right, like a cyclical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's really fascinating here is the Purana's depiction of time, not as a linear progression
Right.
from past to future, but as a cyclical process
Uh-huh.
with these recurring phases.
Oh, okay.
So these phases are creation, srishti, sustenance, and dissolution, pralaya.
And these are all part of one big cycle.
One big cycle.
Okay.
And these phases are linked to the Trimurti.
Okay.
So Brahma for creation,
Yeah.
Vishnu for preservation,
Huh?
and Shiva for dissolution.
So each of those deities is associated with a part of this cycle.
Exactly. And this cycle, according to the Purana, repeats endlessly.
And these aren't just, short cycles, right?
They don't know.
We're talking about timescales that are almost impossible for us to comprehend.
Exactly. So the Purana introduces concepts like kalpas, manvantaras, and yugas to define these immense epochs.
Right, and those are huge timescales.
Huge.
Yeah.
Billions of years.
We're told that a single breath of Brahma encompasses billions of our Earth years. Yeah, so it really forces you to reconsider, your perspective on the sheer scale of time
Absolutely.
and our own very brief existence.
Exactly. It really puts our day-to-day worries into perspective.
It does, it really does.
A grander, perhaps less significant context.
Yeah, all right, so within this grand cosmic narrative,
Yeah.
there's a specific text that seems to hold a special significance,
Yes.
and that's the Adhyatma Ramayana.
The Adhyatma Ramayana.
And it's a part of the Brahmanda Purana, but it offers a very particular lens
Yes.
through which to view the Ramayana, which is a story that a lot of people are familiar with.
Exactly. So the Adhyatma Ramayana is considered a particularly important section
Hey.
within the Brahmanda Purana.
Okay.
What sets it apart is its presentation of Lord Rama, the central figure of the Ramayana epic,
Right.
not just as a virtuous and heroic prince,
Right.
but as the supreme consciousness itself,
Okay.
the ultimate reality underlying all of existence.
And the way that this deeper meaning is explored is through a very interesting format. Right, it's through dialogue.
Precisely, the Adhyatma Ramayana is structured as a conversation
Okay.
between Lord Shiva and his consort Parvati.
Okay.
And through this exchange, the deeper symbolic and philosophical layers inherent in the traditional Ramayana story are unveiled and examined.
So it kind of leads you through, like, okay, here's what this story's really about.
Exactly. It acts as a guide, offering spiritual aspirants profound insights into the human condition
Okay.
and the path to liberation.
So these well-known characters and events that many of us have heard about
Yeah,
take on, entirely new levels of meaning in this context.
exactly.
Yeah, can you give us an example of some of these symbolic interpretations?
Certainly. So, for instance, Sita Rama's devoted wife
Right.
is not merely seen as his consort, but as Shakti,
Okay.
the divine feminine energy, the very power of consciousness
Wow.
that animates the universe.
Okay.
Ravana, the epic's antagonist,
Right.
is often interpreted as representing the ego,
Okay, the ego. Yeah.
the source of our attachments, our desires, and ultimately our suffering.
Interesting.
And the great war between Rama and Ravana
Right.
is then understood as this internal battle
Yo, wow.
that every spiritual seeker must wage within themselves.
Right.
The struggle between the higher true self and the limiting ego.
Wow. So it's a completely different way of understanding that story.
Yeah, a completely different way.
Yeah, it shifts it from, historical narrative
Yes,
to very personal, internal spiritual journey.
exactly.
Wow. Okay, moving on to another fascinating aspect.
Yeah.
The Brahmanda Purana also provides these incredibly detailed descriptions of the cosmos,
Yes.
outlining different realms or alokas.
Yeah, so the Purana offers this captivating,
Yeah.
though admittedly complex map of the cosmos,
Okay.
detailing 14 distinct lokas or worlds.
14 different worlds.
14 different worlds.
Wow.
These are broadly categorized into higher earthly and lower realms.
Okay.
Some of the key ones that are frequently mentioned
Yeah.
include Brahloka, which is our own earthly plane,
Okay.
Swargaloka, the realm of the gods, or heavens,
Heaven.
Patala, the various netherworlds,
Right.
and Brahmaloka, the highest realm associated with Brahma, the creator.
And these aren't just, vague metaphorical descriptions.
No.
There seems to be a real sense of geography.
Indeed.
It's almost like an ancient form of cosmic cartography.
Yes, the Purana provides intricate details about sacred rivers, significant mountains,
Right.
such as Mount Meru and Mount Kailasa,
Okay.
which hold immense spiritual significance.
Right.
It paints a picture of this richly detailed cosmic geography,
Wow.
suggesting these complex interrelationships
Yeah.
between these different realms and their specific geographical features.
So they really had a very specific way of visualizing these different realms.
They did it. It really speaks to how the ancient thinkers conceptualized the structure of reality.
What I personally found particularly intriguing was,
Right.
the subtle suggestion within the text of, well, perhaps other life out there.
Right.
Our sources hint at the possibility of advanced civilizations
Yes.
and beings existing beyond, our earthly realm.
Absolutely.
That seems surprisingly modern for such an ancient text.
I know. It's really remarkable that within its descriptions of the various lokas
Yeah.
and the beings that inhabit them, the Brahmanda Purana does allude to a cosmos teeming with diverse life forms,
Wow.
some possessing quite advanced capabilities.
So they were thinking about this even back then.
They were thinking about it.
That's amazing.
While these descriptions are, of course, embedded within a mythological framework,
Yeah.
they nonetheless spark a sense of wonder
Right.
and invite us to consider these ancient perspectives on the potential for life beyond our own planet.
It really makes you wonder what their understanding of the universe was.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now shifting our focus from the grand scale of the cosmos to the individual,
Yeah.
the Brahmanda Purana also lays out specific paths and practices for inner growth.
Yes.
What are some of the key practices it emphasizes?
So according to the Brahmanda Purana, practices such as yoga japa,
Okay.
which is the repetition of sacred mantras,
Okay.
and tapasya, various forms of spiritual discipline and self-denial or austerity
Okay.
are considered absolutely essential for one's spiritual evolution.
So these are the paths to, growth.
These are the paths to growth.
Okay, can you delve a little deeper into the significance of these practices as
Yeah.
they're outlined in the Purana?
So yoga in this context extends far beyond just physical postures.
Right.
It's understood as a holistic discipline
Okay.
aimed at achieving union,
Okay.
the union of the body, mind, and spirit.
Right.
Japa, the repeated chanting of sacred mantras,
Okay.
is seen as a powerful tool for focusing the mind, quieting mental chatter,
Right.
and invoking divine energies.
Okay.
And tapasya, the deliberate undertaking of austerities,
Right.
is viewed as a way to purify oneself,
Okay.
to burn away negative tendencies,
Yeah.
and to cultivate inner resilience and unwavering resolve
Uh-huh.
in the pursuit of moksha, or liberation from the cycle of birth and death.
So there's this, profound connection
Yeah,
drawn between the individual and the universe in these practices.
exactly. This idea of the microcosm,
Right.
the individual mirroring the macrocosm, the universe.
Yeah.
The Brahmanda Purana strongly emphasizes this fundamental interconnectedness, suggesting that the individual human body and consciousness
Yeah.
are essentially a miniature representation of the vast cosmos.
So we're all little universes.
In a sense, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Understanding this intricate relationship is presented as a key step
Yeah.
towards realizing our true nature
Uh-huh.
and our place
Yeah.
within this larger universal scheme.
It's about recognizing that we are not separate,
Exactly.
but integral parts of a greater whole.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just about, individual spiritual growth.
Right.
It also provides a framework for how to live your life
Yes.
in the world, right? It delves into this concept of dharma.
Absolutely. The Purana lays out comprehensive teachings on dharma,
Okay.
which encompasses righteous conduct, duties, responsibilities, ethical principles.
Okay.
It discusses the specific duties and obligations associated with the different varnas or
Okay.
social classes,
Yeah.
and the ashramas or stages of life,
All right.
providing a detailed social and ethical framework for individuals to navigate their lives.
And it's not simply a rigid set of rules and regulations.
No,
Is it? There seems to be a deeper emphasis on...
inner transformation and intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, while it does outline certain duties and responsibilities,
Yeah.
the Purana strongly underscores the importance of charity,
Oh.
the keeping of sacred vows, and the transformative power of rituals.
Yeah.
However, what's particularly noteworthy is its emphasis on inner purity
Okay.
and intention.
Yeah.
Dharma, as presented here, is not merely about outwardly conforming to prescribed rules,
Right.
but about cultivating inner goodness, compassion, and living with genuine integrity.
Right. So your actions have to be aligned with
Exactly.
what's going on inside.
Yeah, it's understood as something that is dynamic and context sensitive,
Okay.
prioritizing the cultivation of true spiritual qualities over mere external displays of piety.
That's a really important nuance
It is.
that challenges some common misconceptions about dharma.
Absolutely.
Now, the Purana also touches upon the concept of time
Yeah.
and the different ages,
Yes.
including the current one that we're in Kali Yuga.
Yes, the Brahmanda Purana describes the cyclical nature of time
Right.
through this concept of yugas.
Right.
And it characterizes Kali Yuga, the age that we are currently said to be in,
Uh-huh.
as an era marked by darkness,
Okay.
moral decline, conflict, and confusion.
Oh, wow.
This description often resonates quite strongly with contemporary anxieties
Right.
and the various challenges that we observe in the world around us today.
It does feel very relevant
Yeah.
to our current time.
Yeah.
But it's not entirely a pessimistic outlook, is it?
No, it's not.
There's still a message of hope embedded within these prophecies.
Even amidst its rather stark descriptions
Right.
of the difficulties inherent in Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
The Purana does offer a message of hope for the future.
Okay.
It includes prophecies of an eventual resurgence of Dharma,
Uh-huh.
a renewal of spiritual values,
Right.
and more righteous ways of living.
Okay.
It suggests that even in the darkest of times,
Yeah.
a single act of kindness, a spark of awareness,
Right.
can have a significant and positive ripple effect.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So bringing all of this together,
Yeah.
why does this ancient wisdom
Yeah.
contained within the Brahmanda Purana
Yeah.
still hold relevance for us today here in the 21st century?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So the teachings of the Brahmanda Purana, despite their ancient origins,
Right.
really speak directly to many of the fundamental challenges and questions
Mhm.
we grapple with in modern life,
Yeah.
in a world that is often heavily focused on materialism
Mhm.
and can lead to a sense of disconnection.
Right.
The Purana encourages us to cultivate greater inner awareness,
Okay.
to recognize the sacredness inherent in our everyday actions,
Yeah.
and to understand our place within this much larger interconnected cosmic consciousness.
So it's about finding a sense of meaning and purpose
Exactly.
that extends beyond the purely material,
Yeah.
and recognizing this deeper level of interconnectedness
Yes.
with ourselves, with others, and with the universe as a whole.
Precisely, the Purana offers this timeless framework for understanding the nature of our existence,
Yeah.
for grappling with these profound questions of purpose and meaning,
Yeah.
and for ultimately finding a deeper sense of connection to ourselves, to our communities,
Right.
and to the vast universe we inhabit.
Yeah.
It invites us to look beyond these superficial aspects of life and to explore the profound depths of our own being
Yeah.
and the cosmos that surrounds us.
This has been a truly fascinating deep dive into the Brahmanda Purana, exploring its immense scope from, the very origins of time and the cosmos to the potential for individual spiritual liberation.
Right.
It really does present, a remarkable and intricate tapestry
It does.
of ancient knowledge and profound insights.
Yes, and perhaps one of the most resonant takeaways
Yeah.
for you, our listener,
Yeah.
is this profound idea presented within the Purana that you yourself are, in a sense, a micro-Brahmanda.
Oh, wow.
That the vastness, the potential, and the interconnectedness of the entire cosmos reside within your own being.
That's a really powerful thought to conclude with.
It is.
It makes you contemplate the immense potential that lies within each of us.
Yeah.
So we encourage you to reflect on these ideas.
Absolutely.
Consider what aspects resonated most deeply with you.
Yeah.
And perhaps even to explore the full text of the Brahmanda Purana further.
Yes.
How might these ancient insights inform your own life journey?
Yeah.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us.
Thank you.